Brought to you by Black Mafia Podcast.
And what on? Mike Duke Harley, how are you, bruv?
Doing all right, doing all right. I have my ups and downs. Today's one of my little downish days, but I'm battling on, mate.
Okay, well, thank you. I'm much appreciated for saying yes to the podcast. I really do appreciate it. And I'd like to start from the beginning. So, where was you born? How were your parents? And how was school?
Right. I was actually born in Kingston, Jamaica. My granddad was a police commissioner out there. My father, he worked in the Jamaican High Commission. He was British. I mean, he was all born British, but I was born overseas. I had a British birth certificate, British passport, and when Jamaica had their independence, obviously wanting to stay British and being British, we had to come to the UK because our lives was probably in danger. Sort of like, the American independence. We lost, and our second battalion had to come to back to Britain. The old, the Royal Americans. So it was the same thing. And I went to a boarding school. It wasn't one of those posh boarding schools. It's just boarding school for civil servants. For civil servants, kids.
So what age was you when you come back to Blighty, or when you first come to Blighty?
I was, I think I was 5 or 6, to be honest.
Got you.
Because I can remember only doing 1 year in infant, so I must have been that age.
Got you. And then to go away to boarding school, then, I mean, we're talking the late 60s, early 70s?
Yeah, I can remember watching England winning the World Cup at boarding school.
Oh, I wasn't born then, so.
Yeah, we were all
Wow.
sitting on the floor, in front of a black and white TV, and waving the Union Jack, and the English flag, George's flag, But I just, I was quite young, so for me, the significance of it didn't really sink in till years later, and I became a teenager.
Yeah. Wow. So you're off. So you come back to your family come to England, and then you're sent off to boarding school. So how was that? Was there much bullying, or was it cool, or did it go on okay?
Put it this way, being mixed race, because my mother is half caste, my dad is, well, we used to say half caste, and my father is white. So
Yeah.
I took some stick, and but I wasn't a really naughty child, but I had to learn how to fight. Because I wasn't going to be pushed around. And I suppose that attitude led me into the army. Via being a football hooligan, which is what I ended up being.
A football hooligan. Oh, so did you go to the football then?
Yeah, I'm a big West Ham boy. I followed them all over the place. I used to go away on the away specials on a Saturday. Monday, to be honest, Monday to Friday, I was a normal youngster. I mean, I used to sing in the church choir and everything, But come Saturday afternoons, I grew horns, and I was a little hooligan on the terraces, mate.
Wow, I can't imagine that.
Well,
so,
maybe,
I
maybe.
just wanted to touch on mum and dad's. So, what did mum and dad do as a living? When they come
Well,
back to England, obviously, he had the police and that.
but my dad eventually worked for a company called Hamilton Airways. And mum, she went back and she stayed in the civil service, where she then went and worked in the Lord Chancellor's office at Grazing Road. She later sat on the bench as a magistrate, and that's one. She gave that up after quite a few years because my mates would turn up in front of her in court and they'd be saying, "Oh, don't worry, Duke's mum's on the bench. We'll get off."
Oh, wow. So, your mum was a bit of a judge then?
Yeah,
A
and
Judge
then
Judy, as they say.
yeah, she did well, for an old bird. She went back to university. She got a law degree, and then she decided to give that up and went back to uni and did a minister. She's now a minister.
Wow. A broad
You
selection of
know,
jobs there, brother.
so we've always, even today, we have confrontations. Because with what's going on around the world, I'm always arguing,
Yeah,
if there's a God, then why is this happening, And I used to say,
yeah,
don't
yeah.
tell me he works in mysterious ways, but we'll get to that in a minute because something happened to me and I did have to dig deep in my faith.
Yeah. So going back to school, and you hear stories of boarding school. I don't know many people that went to boarding school. I know, I don't even remember Bob Ross went to a boarding school, and he said it was tough. And I
Well,
can imagine they were.
well,
Like, I
if
just
I
want to touch.
mention
Go
if I
on,
mention a
go on, bro.
name, if I mention a
Yeah.
name, we were at the same boarding school, Brett Blythe and Sean Blivers. Yeah,
Wow.
remember
Yeah,
Blivers?
yeah, yeah,
All right.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
We went to the same boarding school in Brighton,
Small world.
Prince Albert.
Wow. Wow,
Yeah,
that's a small world, isn't it?
but
So how was
you
it?
know,
Like, at school, like, was there much of the racism around at the time?
there was more racism from the teachers, the housemaster.
That's crazy, isn't it? It just goes to show, I've always been an opinion like this. Yeah.
Now,
Wow.
I was cool. There was one teacher. She was a gym teacher, and she's the only one that actually stuck up for me. And funny enough, she used to call me her little mongrel.
I mean, oh my God, that is so politically correct. Not. Oh my goodness me.
Exactly, yeah, but she looked out for me because I can
Yeah,
remember
yeah,
one day we was jumping over the nets on the tennis court, hanging on them, which was forbidden. And she sort of
yeah.
screamed at me, Mike, and I'm like, "You're always bloody picking on me, blah, blah, blah." And she said, "Michael, I'm not picking on you. I'm just," and everyone looked and said, if anyone else, they would have had detention or been sent to the headmaster's office, you know. But
Yeah.
and that's when I realised, oh, he does like me.
So, so what age was you when you joined the military?
um, I was 20 when I actually joined because, like I said, I had a couple of jobs in between. When I
Right.
left school, I worked at Harrods
Wow.
in their what do they call it, export return department. Basically, my job there was all the posh customers who bought presents and took them back to like America and found it was the wrong size and then sent it back. It was my job to find original receipt, go down on the departments, get the right size and repost it, or if something arrived damaged, you know, write them letters of apology. So I was crap at maths, but my vocabulary and English literature was brilliant. So it suited me.
Yeah, yeah. So, so what year was it when you joined the military?
79, November
Wow.
79, and I went to the depot, and when I passed out, I never went straight to the battalion. They kept me, and I went into a demo platoon for about 2 months. So,
Wow.
I was giving it the big licks around the depot. Died in my potties
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I was
yeah,
going to the
yeah,
third
yeah.
battalion.
For a
So
battalion. Yeah,
died,
yeah.
died walking around with my black putties, and when everyone was queuing up for dinner to go into the cookhouse, walk straight to the front, that sort of thing.
As you do. Um,
As you do.
so, how did you find the training, and how did you find battalion when you first joined?
Right. Training, I thought, was because I was always active as a sportsman. I played football as well as being a hooligan, but played football in school and also played for South East counties. Um,
That's a good
my
standard.
my
Yeah,
young
well done.
my younger brother actually played for Leighton Orient. Sadly, he's no longer with us. He took his own life a few years back.
Oh, bless him.
Sort of falling off the top rudder and then being down at rock bottom. He couldn't cope.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah,
usual story: drink, drugs, and decided to just end his life, mate.
yeah. Oh, sorry, mate. I'm sorry about that. It's not good, is
But
it?
I'm living for the two of us. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, how was joining the battalion then? Like, was it
Oh,
as hairy for
oh, it
you as it
was.
was for
Well,
most of us?
when I went to battalion, I went to our company, and there was a lad called Steve Wilding, obviously known as Oscar Wilde, Oscar to everyone, and we shared the same bed space, and we literally looked out for each other because back then they were all bloody nutters, mate. I mean, you had some night,
No, nothing changed.
no, you had some night nutters. I mean, my first night in the battalion, I was laying in my bed and I heard all this commotion. When I opened my eyes, there was four blokes with pillowcases over their head, with their eye slits cut out, and KKK written on the thing. One of them had a bloody machete, and I just jumped out of bed, grabbed, those bumpers. Remember the old bumpers for bumpering the
Yes, I
floor?
do, mate. Yeah, 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 yeah.
I grabbed that and I swung it and took the legs away off the biggest one, which turned out to be Bob Craig, and the others, they all started laughing and ran out, you know. But it got around in the battalion that I was a bit of a nutter, so everyone left me alone.
Yeah. Yeah, well, just think of when I first got to battalion, my introduction was seeing Hutchie in 11 platoon come down the
Oh,
corridor
right.
in roller skates,
Roller,
and he was
yes.
completely naked, and I was like, what's going on here? You know, it's just
I can tell.
unbelievable. You know.
I can tell you some. I can tell you some stories about Hutchie, but that's for another day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know what you mean, mate. I really do know what you mean. So 79, so you must have passed out probably the back end of 79. And was you in Cambridge then, I take it? Your first
Yeah, I
posting,
went.
battalion?
Yeah, I went. Yeah, I went straight to Oakington. They were
Yeah,
when I went to Oakington, they were in. They'd most of them was on leave or still coming back from Derry. So I was like, you know, rare party sort of thing.
yeah,
Being run by one of the screws who came back early. He was a mixed race bloke from Liverpool, Alan Joel, and he took me under his wings, and looked out for me.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I remember I had a show parade
yeah,
because I played a bit of football. Um, RSM at the time was Mickey Gleason, and I put my name down to go football training, but I couldn't be bothered to turn up because I didn't have any boots. And I got a show parade for it, and I turned up, and all the turned up outside the guard room, all the blokes are there, and Alan Joel looked at me, he says, "All right, cuz?" I says, "Yes, Corporal." He says, "You're an half-caste, aren't you?" I said, "Yes, Corporal." He goes, "Go on then, fuck off." So I never did any sweeping up, mate,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm just trying to move us a little bit forward. You did quite a few years in the battalion, didn't you, in the 3rd Battalion? You went to you you went to Belfast, yeah, in
Yeah, that's right.
84,
84, 84,
Yeah,
85. I was
yeah,
I was then part I was then part of the Malt platoon because I joined support company, it used to be S Company at Oakington,
yeah.
and then
Got you.
we went over to Cellar, and I was already an established mortarman, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so you did the tour in Belfast, and then you came back to Germany, and I was just speaking to I was just speaking to you off air, and I knew you'd gone somewhere because I seen you one day and you disappeared, and I've only just
yeah,
found out, just like So if you want to tell the viewers that you swapped over battalions and that, because I wasn't aware of this.
yeah. Yeah, because I had a German wife at the time, and I was enjoying Germany. I spoke the language fluent, and I went and saw company sergeant major says, "Look, any chance of me going, to the 1st battalion in Osnabrück?" And I didn't realise there was that many of us. There's about 8 or 9 of us that went across there.
Yeah, there was a fair few actually, coming to think about it. Yeah,
Yeah. But the funny
yeah,
thing was, when we went there, we stuck out like sore thumb because each battalion's got their own ways.
yeah. Of course they have. Yeah,
But
yeah,
we were there, and we had this is like July. We're in on exercise, and index gets called early. Next thing I know, we're going back off to Ireland. Flipping South
yeah,
Armagh.
yeah, yeah. They all had the
Which
little quirk.
Yeah, which I thoroughly enjoyed because something happened with the Marines there, and we got in a bit of a thing, but at the same time, it was a baptism of fire because I was accepted by all the blokes in the 1st Battalion, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, of course. You know, it's a big thing, isn't it, to be accepted anywhere, you know, within the military.
Oh, it is. I mean, you know, even in going back, you know, in 3RGJ, you know, back in the day, Dunk, we had, you know, we had our little pockets of National Front and all that shit. But,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
we just got on with it, mate. As you know,
yeah, yeah.
you know, there was no really nasty animosity going on. You know,
No, no, and if
it
there
was,
was, the job broke it down, didn't it? You
exactly,
know,
exactly. I mean, there were
like,
blokes that I thought were racist. I've got to know them better in Civvy
yeah.
Street, but you know, it's like people like Bomber and that. I thought they were a bunch of racists, and they're not. It was just,
Yeah, yeah,
it
yeah,
was just, you know. I mean, I see people like Pitbull and all that, and I love them, and they love me, you know.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah, yeah,
I think it was just a lot of them just went along with the flow, you know. It
yeah,
was just,
yeah,
I think, it wasn't racism. It was just a fashion thing, you know, be part of the National Front, blah blah blah, you know, kind of bollocks. Because
yeah. Of course it is.
those blokes had my back, you know.
Yeah, like, and I've touched on this in other podcasts, and I've always said that we was very privileged to be in a regiment and a battalion, but the whole regiment as a whole, we all came from the big cities. We never had a shire. Like, you know, you look at a lot of regiments and they came from a shire. And
Yeah,
most of the 3rd Battalion came from London, Birmingham, Liverpool, Manchester, Leeds. And
yeah,
we all were, almost all of us were dragged up. We wasn't just brought up, we was dragged up. We all had problems, whether it was physical abuse or mental abuse or sexual abuse, or there's all different types of
yeah,
abuse. I mean, it's only now I look back and look at all the blokes I served with, and it's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. And I'd
yeah.
say, just my opinion, 80% had a problem from their childhood, you know,
No, we
and
all
the
had.
military
Listen,
was a way out.
well, put it this way: the military straightened me out. You know,
Yeah.
because I went off the rails a bit because even where we lived, you know, there wasn't many people of colour down our street. You know,
Mm.
and my mum didn't realise that the reason me and my brothers got in the fights was because we had to prove ourselves, or else we would have been bullied.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah,
but they were
yeah,
still very strong because they gave us a very good upbringing. I mean, and you know, I can go back down to London and parts of Essex where our family is, and I don't have to hide my face in shame. Where I've got friends I grew up with, and
yeah.
them, you know, their parents are ashamed of her. I mean, one of my best mates, um, he's a lifer, you know, for
Mm.
I mean, we both got into trouble back in the day. Um, I mean, I got done for GBH. I ended up at the Old Bailey, you know. But the funny thing was, by the time it had come to court, I was in uniform, and I remember
It
going to
does
the
help,
Old
doesn't it?
Bailey. I remember going to the Old Bailey in a regimental tie on, you know, a suit, platoon commander who gave a lovely speech, and judge, you know, said, I know we're not
Mm.
going to see each other again. Most of the lads got set down, but I got something like 200, £250 fine and a 2 years conditional discharge. So I was laughing, you know. I mean, I'm in uniform, I'm in barracks, and if I weren't in barracks, you know, I was going to be overseas.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was almost a very privileged position, but we had to take the knocks along the way. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
looking back with myself, I mean, I must have come across so many different types of people in the battalion, different colours, different creeds, different religions, and we just all got on with the job, and that was the beauty of it, wasn't it, at the time, you know?
Well,
And
exactly. I mean, you know, I mean, I told my wife or my son, my youngest son, you know, and he laughs because sometimes I'll say things, they say, Dad, you can't say that. And I'll tell them things like, we could like Dennis Law, he was known as Packy Law, you know, Harry
yeah,
Barrage, Packy Harry. But there was
yeah,
no
yeah,
animosity, man.
yeah. I know. Yeah. Of course, yeah,
You
of
know,
course.
you know. I
But
mean,
but
I was called the plastic nignog by Bomber,
yeah,
but nothing was meant by it.
yeah.
He said to me,
Go on.
yeah, he said, you know, when he called me, I looked at him, he said, Duke, you're not a fucking real one anyway. You know, and I just laughed, and that was the end of it. You know,
Yeah,
we just walked out laughing, and that's how it should be.
yeah.
But nowadays, you know, I mean,
I
I'm
know
I'm
it's
fine.
almost as if, like, I'm not saying that that is acceptable because it isn't, is it? You know, in today's climate, I get that. It's just that, like, I can go back to a platoon photograph I've got in about 1987 in Germany doing phibia training, and my
Yeah,
platoon's got five black kids in it, a Pakistani kid, and other people from around the world. And I'm thinking,
yeah,
so we went from that in 87. And when I left in the early 90s, it was almost like that hadn't happened in a way. It was almost like we had gone a weird
done.
path. But I don't want to touch on this too much, only because it can take up the whole podcast. But you know what
Yeah,
I'm saying, though? You
yeah,
know,
I know. Yeah, it was a different world back then, you know, and
yeah.
I like to think that we benefited from it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I think I did. I mean, I made friends for life, you know,
Well, this is it, you know,
and
sometimes I'm ashamed to say it. I feel closer to some of the guys I've served with than my own blood relatives.
yeah, yeah, I know where you're coming from there, actually. Yeah, I do.
You know,
Um, Duke, two questions. The first one's a quick one. Why? Well, I say it's a quick one. Why are you called Duke?
right? When when I went to the depot, I got dropped off, and I think like after the lads hadn't turned up, I think I turned up on a Sunday, and they turned up on a Monday morning, and I was always well dressed, you know. And I walked in, I had like a suit on. One of the RP staff, he goes, "Oh, here comes the fucking Duke of Windsor," you know. And
Oh dear.
even even today, Oscar says to me, you know, "Oh, Scass, Oscar," he says, "every time I see you, Duke, you look like you just stepped off the cover of a magazine." But I don't know any other way, mate, you know?
Now,
Because,
do you know, like, sorry to butt in here, but the first time I ever seen you, I seen you in combats and you had a crease going down the trouser leg, and I thought, wow.
fucking
So
hell.
this is you, bro.
this,
This is you. You are the
mate,
Duke.
my old man said to me, my old man told me, he says, after the battle, says, look the part, you get left alone, right? And I
Yeah,
can remember
I
getting,
can get that.
I can remember, I can remember getting shit off the lads in I company because we had a big company parade, and Johnny Mann, who was Sergeant Major Man for our I company at the time, he said to me,
Yeah.
"Fuck me, every time I see you, Harley, you dag to the bollocks." And he turned around, he says to the others, "If Harley can't do it, why can't you not do it just once a week?" And so I got the nickname Sergeant Major's Blue-Eyed Boy, innit?
Well, if the cap fits, mate.
You know, uh,
um,
I've
Duke, I
carried
want
it
to.
with me, mate.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a good standard to have. I mean, we've all got our little quirks, but that is a good standard to have. Now, look, I want to push you on a bit here, brother. How long did you end up serving in the military?
I end up when I left, I stayed with one until the amalgamation, and I went on leave, and then a regiment was just forming up, 4-7 Air Dispatch Regiment, and
The what
I
regiment,
sort
sorry?
of went 4-7 Air Dispatch.
All
Basically,
right, yeah.
yeah, I got posted to Brize Norton. Basically, I was um, training a team of blokes who were pushing with your freights, out the back of an Urk.
Wow.
So if I weren't flying, I was bowling or riding around the airfield on my push bike.
Oh, a cushy number then.
It was a cushy number because, to be honest, I didn't really want to go when the new second battalion was formed.
Yeah,
I'd had some run-ins, and I wanted a fresh start, and
yeah.
Nick, Nick,
It's
Nick
understandable.
Carter, Nick Carter pulled a few strings and pointed me in the right direction.
Yeah, and that's good. And just for the
So
viewer, Nick Carter was the lieutenant colonel at the time.
that's right.
So
That's right.
so that's good.
That's right.
So you was there then in the early 90s at 47
Yeah,
air
right
dis
through, yeah. Right through
yeah.
until 2001, mate.
Wow. So you ended up doing a good 20 years then. 20
Yeah,
22 years.
right. 23, because I owed him, mate.
Wow. So
yeah,
you was a lifer then. Wow, I didn't know all this, Duke. So thank you for telling me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Wow.
was, at Bryce, basically, it was like being a civvy in uniform, you know.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
only
The
time,
real cream boys.
the only time I put, well, food was excellent. There was no discipline as such. Um, I remember I was running, I got my colour boy out of it, and I was training some of the lads. There's background activity, you know. I was trying to find out how much they knew about marksmanship principles, and I
Yeah.
asked them, "Who can name me one?" And a sergeant stood up and he says, "Oh, we don't do all that round here." I thought, "What the hell?" I thought, "What the hell have I come to?" But I let it work for me. I played their
Yeah, of course
game,
you do.
Fraser.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
mate. And that's the best way to
I
be,
mean,
isn't it? The best policy.
those flight boys, they thought the sun shined out my backside, so that was it because everyone looked up to me as being a proper squaddy.
Yeah, 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 of course. Like in that, and that is the badge you've got because you have been an infantier, which is, to me, is the best job in the world, regardless of any other job. You know?
Well, this is it. I never had to march with them,
Yeah.
and if they had to go up to the hangars and that, I should go on my mountain bike and ride up. Let's meet you up there, lads.
Wow. So you left in 2001, was
2001.
it? You said,
Yeah,
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 and you
2001.
achieved the rank of colour boy, yeah, or staff sergeant, or whatever
Colour
they
boy,
call it
yeah.
then.
No, mate,
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
you ever say that, because I used to ignore them when they used to call me staff.
yeah.
And I just say, no,
Fair play.
it's colour to you. And I say, it's colour. And it has nothing to do with
Yeah,
the pigmentation of my skin. They didn't like
exactly.
it.
So what did you do when you left the 22 years that, or 23 years? That is amazing, mate, honestly. So what did you do when you left then? I mean, did you stay in England or because your wife was German at the time and that?
Yeah, well, we went to Florida, which is where my old man lives,
Yeah.
and we tried to make a go of it there, But I was working for Lincoln Mercury, selling cars to a lot of German retirees who had retired out in Florida. I was making a killing. Um,
Yeah.
my my wife, who at the time was a qualified lawyer in Germany, gave that all up, and she went into real estate, what they call a realtor out there. And funny enough, we got investigated by the FBI because her passmark was the highest in the history, and they wanted to know if we had someone on the inside giving her the answers or information. It's just that
Wow.
she was clued up, But like I said, when you go there, we used to go there for holidays every other year, and there was a big difference. Going there on holiday, living and working here is completely two different worlds for us. So we,
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
you know, we got in a lot of stress. I got in a lot of hot water with family members who were really, literally jealous, And
Yeah.
there was a there was a racial thing as well, mate, that came in that I didn't realise existed in the family. Um, and I had cousins who were a lot darker than me, and they said I was only getting ahead because I wasn't as dark as them,
Oh
and
dear. Mm.
yeah, we fell out, and my wife said, "Look, I've had enough of this. Um, let's go back to Europe." So went back to Germany, but I was working for DPD, and I pushed my way up quickly to what they call a Vorarbeiter, which is a foreman in the warehouse and a dispatch manager. I ended up,
Yeah.
but it wasn't enough, and
Mm.
I applied for British Gas, but I had to have a British address. So we moved back to UK, stayed with my mum for a while, and I got the offer to go to Leicester at the British Gas College. And what they did, it was government sponsored, and they crammed 4 years into 2 years. So basically, it was swatting up during the day, swatting up during the night, and taking exams the following morning. And
Wow.
for 2 years, you did a month in college, in the British Gas College, and then a month out on site. And after
Yeah.
that, I did finish my course and qualified as an engineer at British Gas.
Fantastic.
You know,
It just goes to show, when you want something and you go for it, you've just got to get your head down, haven't you? You know?
well, it's one of them things. I had a family, and I had to support them.
Mm. Yeah.
I had a family I support for, so obviously I used to get a lot of the mick taken out of me at the college because, you know, my boots were always clean and shine and that. And I said, they say, oh, here comes Army boy, you know.
The Duke.
And here comes Army boy. But the thing is, all my training, I put it together, Fraz, in my everyday life. I mean, my bearing and turnout was on the ball. I was never sick, turned up for jobs on time, and
Yeah.
I got on with the customers because, you know, you learn in the army wins up to win hearts and minds. So, you know, I walk into these so-called hardcore customers and I'll win them over.
Yeah. I mean, that's the
But,
old cliche, and it's a true one. Bullshit baffles brains.
well, not
And it
only that,
works, doesn't it?
I made a rod for me back as well because a lot of the customers didn't want no other engineer in their property other than me. You know, they'd be like, is Mike coming? So I used to get all these bloody extra jobs.
The rough with the smooth, eh? The
Oh,
rough with the
yeah.
smooth.
Say that again.
So from there, did you stay within that for a while, or did you move on to pastures new? You know.
No, I stayed with British Gas up until November of last year when I retired. I retired as a CDM, which is a contracts delivery manager.
Oh, well done, brother. Yeah, got yeah. Along that path with them, the British Gas and that, you fell ill, didn't you? Can I touch on that subject?
Yeah, well, you know, things turned out scary because one of my customers, regular customers who I met, do you remember that band called The Damned?
Yeah,
Well,
I do.
the bass guitarist, Bryn Merrick, I was his gas man. And I went to, I can't remember if I was doing a service or a breakdown, but he had a little mark on his neck. And I jokingly said to him, "Have the vampires been at you, Bryn?" He says, "Don't joke, Mike." He said, "I've just had a biopsy and I've got throat cancer." So I was, you know, I was like, "Oh, sorry, mate. What did you? Was you coughing up blood? Did you have a sore throat?" He said, "No, I just had a little lump here." Well, when he told me that, Fraz, my stomach turned because I had a lump just the side of my neck, just the size of a small conker, and didn't think nothing much about it because it didn't hurt or anything.
Yeah.
So I showed it to him, and he said, "Look, promise me you go and get it tested." So I came home, told Kiki, and she said, "How long have you had it?" I said, "I don't know, babes, to be honest." She went off on one, but because of who she is, she's now one of the head sisters in Morriston Hospital. And we went to the GP, and the GP, she rubbed her hands over it, said, "Oh, I don't think it's anything." But Kiki just looked at her and said, "Well, I want a second opinion." And she booked for me to see a consultant the following day. And he did a biopsy and they did like an ultra. And when we came out, she said to me, "You understood some of that, didn't you?" So I said, "I'm not stupid." I said, "I've got fucking cancer, haven't I?" And she didn't answer me. The tears just started running down her cheek. And we were silent. We sat in the car. And I just thought, what are we going to tell the kids? That's what I was worried about.
Yeah.
And she said, "Look, we worry about that when time comes. Let's get the biopsy done first and wait for the results." And within about 2 weeks, we got the results back. I had to have a mask made. I had a tube fitted in my stomach. And I worked right up until the Friday, and my treatment was going to start on the Monday, the first round of chemo and radiotherapy on a daily basis for 6 weeks. And basically they found I had a tumour at the base of my tongue, which had affected my throat and had latched onto my jugular and was moving up towards my brain. And
That's mad, isn't it? Wow.
I know thing is though, at the time I didn't think it was that serious, I just thought,
Mm.
oh, a couple of rounds of chemo and radiotherapy, I'll be right as rain. But they found that I was type 4, mate.
Right.
And normally no one comes back from type 4. And
Right. Okay.
like I said, week 4, Fraz, I wanted to die, mate. I couldn't take it anymore.
Mate,
But
yeah. What with the radio and the chemo and that you're on about, bruv?
yeah, mate, I don't know what was worse, because with the chemo, I was just constantly puking up, with the radiotherapy.
And we're back. And for the viewers, we had a technical difficulty, and we're back sort of the next day to carry on where we left with. Are you Duke? You all right, bruv?
All right, bruv. Doing all right, surviving, mate.
Yeah.
Counting my
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we got onto your illness. So I'll just pick it up from where we left off, bruv.
yeah, I think we just started talking about me beginning with my chemo, if I remember rightly.
Yeah.
They scheduled 6 weeks of chemo and radiotherapy on a daily basis. And in the beginning, I just thought, a couple of rounds of chemo, I'll be right as rain. So, I was actually quite looking forward to it. And
Yeah.
I went in and trying to be upbeat, I had my little music box with me in there, listening to music and just trying to be positive and not to think about too much negative stuff, and I was doing great until about week 4. when
Right.
I just said to the missus, I said, I can't take this anymore. You know, I just felt like I was sinking and everything was just being drained out of me, you know. With the radiation, it felt like I was being microwaved from the inside out. You know, to give anyone an
Wow.
idea,
What?
if you had a really bad sunburn, that's what it was like, mate, you know.
What is that inside you're on about? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I just felt. I mean, I had to have this special cream. I mean, one side of my face and neck was raw red, you know, and it was just bloody painful. I mean, I was on morphine. You know, they gave me morphine, and I was taking cocodamol, you know, at the same time. Anti-sickness tablets stopped me puking up. And I went into a really dark place, mate. You know, I just wanted to give up. I really, really wanted to give up.
Yeah.
But my missus, you know, she's a stubborn old girl. I mean, she just looked at it. It must be the German coming out of her. She said to me, the man I married
Yeah.
was the man I married, she said, was a fighter. And says, you know, over my dead body, you're going to give in. And the kids, I mean, even though they were young, they were right behind me, you know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
it came to the point where I got through the chemo and the radiotherapy, and I was going through what they call the turnaround phase. That's where the chemo starts kicking in and doing its stuff. Basically, it breaks down your DNA and then rebuild it. And
Yeah.
you know, I was she got me out of the hospital, and I was having a day visit from nurses coming into doing me all my medication and that, you know, and because Kiki, God bless her, she was still doing a full-time work job, you know. She was going to the hospital, doing her shift, and coming home and doing another shift with me, you know. And
Yeah. Well, I suppose, like, I, I suppose it was a coping mechanism, wasn't it? You know, for Kiki, like
well,
going to work and trying to get a balance to her mind.
yeah, she tried to be as normal as possible for me, and even stronger for the kids, you know. And I mean, I found out a few years afterwards that she had a nervous breakdown at work. She broke down on the ward, you know. Um, it took its toll, mate. But
Oh, bless her.
you know, I wanted to give up, mate. You know, and she just earned the kids, you know, uh, encouraged me, and in the end, I just turned around one day, you know, and I thought, you know what, I'm not ready to go yet. And then
No.
she hit me. She hit me. It was like the day before Christmas Eve, and they told her, basically, make it my best Christmas.
Yeah, that's a fair one.
You
Yeah.
know, and I can remember her holding my hands, and she said to me, she said, forget about what you went through in Ireland and all the other shit places you had to go to. But he says, this is the battle of my life. And whichever God I believe in, she said, I suggest you start talking to him. And
Wow, that's some strong woman, mate.
well, it sort of it sort of shocked me because, like I said, you know, I didn't really realise just how serious my cancer was, you know. And I used to, when I was in a good mood, you know, typical green jacket spirit, I would take the piss and make joke about things. Even the nurses thought I was nuts when they came round to visit, you know. But it was just my way of coping, you
Yeah.
know. And
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Massively. Yeah. Yeah. I get that.
you know, she like she said that to me, the penny dropped. The penny dropped, Duncan. And I'm gonna tell you now, mate, I've never been a religious freak, even though my mum's a vicar. But I chewed that
Yeah.
boy's head off. I chewed his ear off up there, mate. I never stopped praying, you know, never stopped praying. And I went through, you know, the why me, you know, went through all that shit. But then I just turned around one day and I said, you know, I'm not going nowhere. And if this cancer wants to knock me about, well, it's going to know it's going to be in a fight, you know. Started fighting back, mate. But
Mm.
But I'll tell you what really, really got me through it. And even the doctors, they said it as well, you know, because I had mates crawling out of the woodwork, you know, and text and on Facebook, the amount of messages, I couldn't read them. Kiki used to sit there and read them to me from all you lot, you know, encouraging me, telling me I'm not alone and you're all with me, you know, and you all knew me as a fighter, not one to fold over. Even some of the lads from 4-7 Dispatch Regiment, which is part of the Ordnance, Royal Ordnance Corps, you know, and
Yeah.
they came down from
Yeah.
Bryce, you know, and some of them would come and pick me up, take me on a little drive
Wow.
just to get me out of the house. Even Big Bird used to come and pick me up, you know, but
Yeah. Uh,
I got through it in the end, you know, but it left me really messed up, you know. I mean, I still have sort of like flashbacks now, and what makes it even worse,
yeah.
the guy who made me go and have a test, Bryn, he was the bass guitarist in the that punk band called the Damned. He died. He was in remission for a couple of years. He came back, and it just went everywhere with him. You
Oh,
know,
bless him. Oh dear.
Duncan, I went on what they call a phased return to work. So they put me with another engineer, and basically it was just to get back to driving around and getting used to the system. Didn't touch any tools or anything, you know. And it just so happens we had to go up to 2 houses away from where he lived in Cardiff. And
Yeah.
I said to my mucker Billy, I said, look, you go and see the woman in number one. I want to go see my mate Bryn. So when I went, I knocked the door. His sister answered the door, and there was boxes all packed up, you know. And I thought, hey, you know, Bryn's moving. And I said to her, where's my boy then? And she just stared at me. We've never met before. She said to me, it's you, innit? You're the one. You're Mike. And I said, yeah. She said, you better come in. I went in. She hugged me in the hallway. And she said, your friend didn't make it. And I just collapsed on the floor, mate, because I've waited 2.5 years to go back
Yeah,
and thank him, you know? That's all I
yeah,
wanted
yeah,
to.
yeah, yeah,
I mean, I
yeah.
wanted to give him a hug and say thank you, because if it wasn't for him, I never would have got tested or whatever, you know. And my missus says I wouldn't be
Mm.
here because I actually I was on the sort of the threshold of stage 4, and no one
Wow.
ever comes back from stage 4. But old Duke is
Yeah.
still here.
So, well, yeah. Testament to your wife.
Yeah.
Just going back a little bit. So, how long did the whole battle take to get to where you got to be able to say, "I'm free"?
Right. It was like I was in like 2 years recovery from work, but they saw me. It was like 6 months. Then it went to 12 months, and then 3 years, 5 years. And remember, I was diagnosed October 2013. We're now
Wow.
coming up to October
Mhm.
2025.
Yeah. I remember. It seems like it was last week, doesn't it? You know,
Yeah,
these
yeah,
years they speed up as you get on a bit, don't they? Yeah.
they fly. But, you know, um, last time I had to go and see the consultant, they said to me, right, go and enjoy your life. You don't want to see me no more. I don't even go for a
Wow.
checkup anymore, you know.
Excuse me. That's amazing news, mate, isn't it?
I
Huh?
mean,
I mean,
it beat me up. I mean, I had temporary paralysis down my right side because, as well as chemo and radiotherapy, 6 months after that, I had to have an operation because the tumour had broken away, latched onto my jugular, and they had to rebuild all that to cut my neck open. So basically, I got half a neck, you know. So, but I'm still here, mate.
wow. You've been
Still
through the
here.
wars, haven't you, bro?
Yeah. I mean, I laugh about it now, you know.
Yeah.
But the only thing I have to have every so often, um, well, it's June now. Every 2 years, I'm supposed to have Botox injected into my voice box to make it more supple. So I
Yeah.
can,
Yeah.
because at the moment I struggle sometimes to get words out when I'm speaking. I get out of
Yeah.
breath, you know. But
Yeah.
it's a small price to pay for us, you know.
Well, yeah, mate. And it's a blessing it's going in your voice box and not in your lips. So you look like them women on the
Yeah, yeah.
the thing. Well,
Look like a
oh, dear.
goldfish. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, funny
Look,
enough, I didn't
yeah.
realise what Botox actually did, because the first time I had it done, you know, I was lying there and I knew the anaesthetist and all that, you know, and we were on
Yeah.
first name terms. And I said to her, if there's any left over, stick some down there. And I pointed to me knob. And she said,
And
it works the opposite, you know,
oh,
because I thought it'd make it bigger. She says, no,
yeah.
make, she said it'd be like a wet sock, you know.
Oh, I wonder if I had any when I was a kid then. Duke, I'm going to let you go now, bruv. But I wanted to ask you one last question.
Go ahead.
Have you got anything that you can offer the viewers about, not about your illness, but just about any illness, about anything that they are going through at this moment in time?
Our problem, right, as blokes, and it's worse with squaddies, we tend to sort of ignore things and think, it's going to go away, which is what I did. Yeah. And it doesn't matter if you get a rash, you've got a cough, you feel a lump, get it checked, because you never know. You never know.
Mm.
You know, at the moment, you know, our biggest problem as men in our age now is prostate cancer. You know, and a lot of the times we don't get any real signs, but there are little telltale signs. You know, the having a weak bladder, going to the toilet, you know, 3 or 4 times in the middle of the night. Don't ignore it. Don't feel embarrassed. You know, because I was very, very lucky. I met a customer, we became mates. He got diagnosed with cancer. Unfortunate for him, he didn't make it. But him pointing me in the right direction and making me promise I would go and get it seen to, I'm still here. And, you know, all our brothers out here, they might not be as lucky as me.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Duke, it's been an absolute pleasure. And just from my own point of view to you, it's amazing that you've been through this battle and you've come out the other side, and you're living and breathing, and you've got a fantastic woman behind you. And I hope you have many more years on this planet, mate. I really do. You know?
And yeah, one last thing, you know, Fraz, thing is, still getting me leg over, mate. I'm still getting me leg over.
Right. Okay. I'll make sure the viewers listen to that one, all right? Because, like, there's nothing better, is there? Mate, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much. Cheers. Okay. And you.
Okay, ciao, buddy.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye now.
At Match Patch, we believe individuality matters. Whether you are rocking a design that tells your story or you're uniting with a team that shares your passion. Match Patch, stay unique. Stay you.